Hello, welcome to another Stu's Music Quiz, and we're jumping back to the wonderful year, certainly musically, of 1969. What a year! My favourite album of all time comes from 1969, and certainly an array of others that I love to pieces. Now, a reminder: what we're going to give you is 50 questions here. Take your pen and pencil ready to answer. And we chose 69 because we work in association with Richard Shaw's 3 albums from a year. Please do look it up and join in and see how we get on with it. Okay, without any further ado, let me move on to the first question. Let's just start with a few trivia questions for you. The biggest selling single of the year, I nearly always start with this for you. In the UK, what was the biggest selling single of the year? Was it Get Back by the Beatles? Was it Je t'aime moi non plus by Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin? Where Do You Go To My Lovely by Peter Sarstedt? Or Sugar Sugar by the Archies? Which of those was the biggest selling single of the year in the UK? Okay, second question. The Eurovision Song Contest in 1969 was won by the UK with the song Boom Bang Bang. Who sang it? Number 3, the infamous Doors Miami concert took place on March the 1st, infamous for a number of reasons, but main one being that Jim Morrison was arrested on stage and taken off. Why was Jim Morrison arrested at the Doors Miami concert on March the 1st, 1969? And while we're on concerts, the Altamont Free concert took place much later in the year on December the 6th, the concert that's often said to have ended the 60s. Now, famously, a man called Meredith Hunter was murdered by some Hells Angels who were guarding the Stones during their set. The question I've got for you is, which song were they playing at the time that this tragedy happened? Was it Under My Thumb, Sympathy for the Devil, Street Fighting Man, or I Can't Get No Satisfaction? Which of those songs were they playing during the moment when Meredith Hunter was murdered at the side of the stage? And number 5, the Monkees released 2 albums this year, still going they were, but one of the members had left the band, so they were only a threesome. Now, which one had left the band? Was it Michael Nesmith, Davy Jones, Peter Tork, or Mickey Dolenz? Which of the 4 had left the band? Okay, now just a quick reminder for you at the beginning that of course I also have recorded an answers video here that not only will tell you what's right, what's wrong, you can see how much you got, but also at the same time I'll give you a few little nuggets of trivia that you may or may not know, and also hopefully, especially if you're playing the 69 3 best albums game, give you a few recommendations of things to listen to as well as we go through. So please do go on to the answers video after this and see how you've done. And also remember, I go through this relatively quickly. Doesn't mean you can't pause at any time, and you most definitely may wish to. I think a lot of people do with this next round, which is my kind of dingbat, name that album round. You've got to look at my cryptic clues through pictures and work out which 69 albums am I referring to here. So you can see his 3 here in front of you. Look at them, think of them in maybe different ways, maybe say what you see, maybe think, well, what could that be? See how many you come up with there. And 2 more for you here as well. Now remember, pause and take as much time as you need over them, but I am looking for the album and the artist as well, please. Okay, right, good. Let's move on to the lyrics round. Okay, 5 songs here for you. What I want the rest of the lyrics, please. First of all, tell my wife I love her very much. What comes next? Oh, famous 69 song there. Number 12. At an old saloon on the street of mud, there at a table, dealing stud, sat a dirty, mangy dog that named me. Oh, what did that dirty, mangy dog name me? And number 13. Old Ebenezer thought he was Julius Caesar, and so they put him in a home where they gave him medicinal compound. And now, old Ebenezer thought he was Julius Caesar, and so they put him in a home where they gave him medicinal compound. And now, okay, number 14. If I'm laden at all, then I'm laden with sadness that everyone's heart isn't filled with the gladness of. What is that gladness of? If I'm laden at all, then I'm laden with sadness that everyone's heart isn't filled with the gladness of. What? And number 15. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done. What's the next bit after that? So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done. Wow, there's 5 absolute classic songs there. How well do you know those lyrics? Okay, moving on to the connections round. Right, so we have 4 songs here for you. All we're looking for is the connection between them. We have Albatross by Fleetwood Mac. We have Hawaii Five-0 by The Ventures. We have Liquidator by Harry J. All-Stars. And we have Time is Tight by Booker T and the MGs. All huge hits, all at least top 10 this year. What do they have in common? And what about these 4? What's the connection between these 4? On the left, we have Zager and Evans. At the top there, we have Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin. Just underneath them, we have Thunderclap Newman. And finally, we have the Archies. What's the connection between the 4 of them in 1969? Very precise connection there. And number 18, 4 more songs. We have My Way by Frank Sinatra. We have If Paradise Is Half as Nice by Amen Corner, or Amen Corner as the Americans would say. Love Me Tonight by the wonderful Tom Jones. And Please Don't Go by Donald Pierce. All huge hits in '69. What do they all have in common? Okay, and so bringing us up to the end of the first half, we have 7 pictures for you. Very simply, all of these big stars, big important people in the music world in 1969. Who are they? I'll let you have a little look for a few seconds there while I go off and refresh my snacks and beer, and I will be joining you for the second half in a few seconds. Okay, well, welcome back. Hope you've done all right on those first 25. Just a reminder for everybody that the reason I research and do these online quizzes, as well as to try and hopefully give you some entertainment and enjoyment of an evening, is because I'm trying to raise money for a charity that I care a great deal about, Young Minds UK. There's an address to my Just Giving page at the bottom of every single slide here, and that's what that little QC code is there as well. Should, if you zap it, take you there. I believe very strongly in the work the Young Minds UK do with dealing with the suffering, the mental health suffering of a huge number of young people today who go through some dreadful times. I work with young people for most of my life and see just how important the work of Young Minds UK is in helping them. So please, even if it's just a pound, a couple of pound, please spare something for me and bung it into my Just Giving account. I'm trying to raise £1,000. It's slow going at the moment, but we're up to over 150 at the moment. So it'd be nice to get a little bit more, keep going. A bit of Christmas generosity, if you like. Talking of which, coming soon will be the Stu's Music Quiz Christmas edition. So be ready for that to come as well. Right, let's get on to the second half of the quiz. Here we go, number 26. These next 5 are album covers from '69. I've blocked out, of course, any reference to the artist and to the album. And that's what I want from you, the album and the artist from this quite unique album of '69, first of all. And this quite wonderful album of 1969. Artist and album, please. This very, very well-known album. Artist and album, please. This 1969 classic. You don't need to tell me who the old man and old lady are. Just tell me who the album is by and what the name of the album is. And finally, number 30, a slightly harder one possibly. Here, the name of the album and the name of the artist. So we're on to the Name That Tune round. This week it is verses I'm going to play to you rather than choruses. See if you can get the tune from the verses, all through my extremely bad piano playing. Okay, here comes number 31 first of all. See if you can recognise this. Okay, 69 hit, very well known one. Did you recognise that? Okay, number 32. Again, see how much, whether you can recognise this purely from my playing of the verse. Okay, number 33. Okay, right, moving on to number 34 then. Okay, and number 35. we go. 5, well, adequately played verses maybe. Didn't do too badly there, a little slip in the last one there. Can you name the tune, the famous song that was the verse to? Okay, it being 1969, the year of the release of the greatest album of all time, Abbey Road, and the year of the breakup of the greatest band of all time, the Beatles, who dominated the year pretty much. I've indulged myself as a Beatles nut in coming up with a Beatles round for you. So we got 5 questions on the Beatles in 69 here. Varying levels of difficulty. Don't worry, I haven't gone too obscure, I don't think, in them. Let's start by thinking about the famous rooftop concert, which happened on January the 30th on top of the Apple building. Happened to be my dad's 27th birthday. How about that? At 3 Savile Row. Now, the Beatles played 9 songs, well, 5 songs in 9 different takes. And so the last one was, of course, the last song that they ever played together as a band in public, and incidentally was actually the first song of the concert as well. What was that final song they played together as a band in public? Was it Get Back? Was it Don't Let Me Down? Was it the one after 909? Or was it I've Got a Feeling? All songs they played up on the famous rooftop concert, but which one was the final one they played together as a band in public on January the 30th? If there's one place I could go back in time to, I'd love to be back there and being able to hear that concert. Okay. What was unique about the release of the single Something, backed with Here Comes the Sun on the 6th of October? What was unique about the release of the single Something, backed with Here Comes the Sun on 6th of October? Double A side, but what was the unique about it, particularly in the Beatles world? Number 38. What was the original choice of name for the album Abbey Road, which was named after a popular brand of cigarettes at the time, which the engineer Geoff Emerick used to smoke? What was the original choice of name for the album Abbey Road, named after a popular brand of cigarettes of the time? Number 39. Here's one for you. What was the order of the 4 Beatles crossing the road on the front cover? This picture, which interestingly, took place, I think, 2 days, I think it was, before the famous Manson murders. Actually, there's 2 contrasting images for you. Probably, surely, the most famous photograph in rock history, modern musical history. And certainly the most famous album cover, I would think. We know it's the 4 Beatles walking across the road. Many of us have imitated it and done it ourselves on the same road crossing. What's the order of them, though? John, Paul, George, Ringo, or which order were they in? Front to back? Here's one for you. Bonus for you if you can name the registration plate of the car just behind them as well. And number 40 for the Beatles. Here we go. It was the end, 1969. So what was the last song all 4 Beatles performed on together in a recording studio? Now, for you Beatle nuts out here, let's be absolutely clear on this. I am saying the last one that all 4 Beatles performed on together in a recording studio. Not the last that they worked on, that any of them worked on. Not the last that 3 of them worked on. And not the last that they actually worked on in the mixing room, but performing on. Was it I Want You, She's So Heavy? Was it Because? Was it Carry That Weight? Or was it The End? Which one of those was the last time they all performed together in a recording studio? Okay, after my self-indulgence there, let's go back to another round that we have most of the time, covers. We have a lot of famous songs from 69 that were covered later became huge. I want you to name I'm going to give you the name of the song and the name of the famous cover of them. I want the original artist. So you can see with 41, I give you David Bowie and Mick Jagger, Dancing in the Street. A very unfortunately maligned cover there. I enjoy it a great deal, always have done. But who in 69 performed the original, or certainly the original that was popular in 69? 42, remember, you might well remember Vic Reeves and the Wonder Stuff taking Dizzy to #1, same as Dancing in the Street did. But who was the original artist who performed Dizzy in 69? 43, back in 1990, I think Deacon Blue did a kind of an EP of Bacharach and David songs, the lead one of which was I'll Never Fall in Love Again. Who sang the original, though, in 69? 44, another big #1. Spirit in the Sky from Doctor and the Medics in the 80s. The original was a 69 song. Who from? And Bananarama's Venus, which seemed to stick around forever in the charts, didn't it, when they released it, and was heard everywhere. But the original from 69, what was the name of the group? See the influence that 69 had there, really, can't you? Okay, and my last 5, slightly different. I normally go back to a bit of trivia and whatever, but here I've gone for, again, 69 at the movies. Similar to the last round, so many classic songs in 69 that they've really dominated a lot of movies since. And I've given you 5 movies here from, the 80s, the 90s, basically. I think they're all from around there, maybe one just into this century. All 5 of them have a hit from 69 that they prominently use in the film. What is that song? Okay, so we've got Top Gun, we've got There's Something About Mary, we've got The 40-Year-Old Virgin, we've got An American Werewolf in London, and we've got Sister Act 2. Which songs from 69 were prominently used in those 5 monster hit movies, really? Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed our exploration of 69. As I said, a wonderful, wonderful year for music, one of the greatest, surely. Yeah, I'd be almost tempted to say the only one that seems to match is the following year, 1970. But however many you've done, well, the answers will be posted later today. Well, the answers pretty much, by the time you get to this, probably will already be there. Please do look up the answers. And as I said, there's a bit more on there than just whether you're right or wrong. Please, as I said, donate to my Just Giving page. Any generosity is really, really helpful. Just if you've enjoyed it at all, just to thank me for what I've done, please help me out with a bit of a donation. That would be really appreciated. And follow me on Twitter. The handle is @StuartHoskin. And please, at the same time, tell your friends. If you enjoyed this, pass it on to other people, send it around, retweet one of my tweets about it, about this. Subscribe, become one of my subscribers. That will help a huge amount as well in promoting this. Give me a like, give me a comment. Any of those things are always helpful. And I do appreciate any feedback at all. So if you want to send me a message on Twitter, a DM or whatever, telling me round you like, round you haven't liked, things you feel I could do to improve, or things that you feel you particularly enjoyed, then do. It's always appreciated. I'm going to carry on with these into next year. As I said, keep your eye out for the Christmas one. There will be another next week, and I will see you then. Thank you very much.